be less luxury.
I'm starting. This is Alvin,
And this Parapants up.
and we just watched a cartoon. It was Fairy Ranmaru episode 5. Um, uh,
Not a lot of buzz around this one.
I don't know. I'm not big on Buzz except the really big stuff. So
How would you describe this cartoon? To me, it comes off as a cross of low rent JoJo Bizarre Adventure and Madoka.
yeah, there's a lot of that. It reminds me a little of one that I watched called Sarazanmai about remember the kids who turned into what kappas because like they would always have these sequences.
Really? But that was like well done.
Well, this is okay. This one's a little
It's a little janky.
yeah, but I can understand. Like I like this because it's got a formula, a very rigid formula, and the formula doesn't annoy me. And so like there are sequences where it's like, all right, this is the story sequence where this is the part that's different. And no matter what I think about it, I know it's gonna be they're gonna move on to the parts that I think are cool eventually. So
You know what it reminds me? It reminds me of there are a lot of beats to it that remind me a lot of those Sentai shows you like to watch.
yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Because it's like no matter what in a Sentai, like you got well, no, they mix it up sometimes, but you gotta have the end fight, and you gotta have at least one or two fights, and then in the end they gotta turn into giant monsters, and someone's gotta blow up. So
Yeah, there are no like they don't. The only thing that's missing is like they don't. The five dudes don't come together and make one great big fairy dude.
well, yeah, you're right. I was gonna say maybe still, but no, yeah, they're not gonna break the formula like that probably. But I was just gonna do a rundown of the episode, and maybe you could chime in whatever you want. Is there? Go ahead.
Should we like kind of explain the overall general premise of this show first?
Nah, we don't have to.
No, what?
You can if you want. I don't think we have to. Go ahead.
Okay, all right, all right. So the overall premise is that there are these uh five pretty boys, and I think it's done by the same guy who did Chu Bebu. What's the name of that?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was it was a man. I can't remember the
You
name.
should have done
We
that
should have
research
that.
before
We
you.
should have.
I didn't
Yeah.
know you were gonna go there, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Chew Babe something something.
Yeah. It was the all male, an all male like Maho Shoujo show, but which is all guys. Not Maho Shoujo Ore, which is totally different. But yeah, but it's by the same
Some of the same
writer.
people are the
Same
same right.
people are
Yeah.
responsible for that, which I really liked. I really liked it. This one is a little bit edgier, so you got like pr- Bishonen pretty boys that are all fairies, which is really on the nose there, and they're on Earth to save the hearts of poor lasses.
Have
You
they
know,
all been chicks?
they're all women.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you couldn't tell, this show is totally targeted towards women, at, but at the same time, there's some. I wonder if this is really targeted towards women because like there's the ending credits have the shots of the guys in their transformed state because they have a regular human appearance, and then when they're in their heroic appearance, they look more like fairies that are in bondage gear and half naked,
Mm.
which is kind of weird.
Well, why would that not be for girls?
I don't know. That just seems a little too sexually aggressive for.
You're just being timid. I'm sure the chicks are like, oh yeah.
Okay, but you don't want to. Look, you
You
don't
know
want
what
to
it
be
is?
that thirsty.
It's your anti-Bada bias coming out. You smell a little bit of Bada and you're like, oh no, no. You can't take a a righteous flex here and there without running and hiding.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Bada to me is pretty gross. It's definitely not. I don't know any w- w- chick that's into Bada. Maybe they're out there.
You don't know any chick that's into this either. so,
That's
so
true.
it's not like you know a bunch of people. Not like you're
Well,
cat.
I mean, like there was a big all female fan base around like Free. Yeah,
No.
you
Okay.
know.
Sure.
So yeah, like and the VTubers, there's a big female fan base around the Hollow Stars.
All right. Well.
Yeah, but yeah, but this one is just like boom, like muscular, big muscular dudes. Like,
Except that one guy.
except for that, yeah, well, you always get to have your one like Shota looking
Not
type.
even. I guess he is. I don't know. It just seems like a skinny manlet.
What-
There's
well, they're,
he's
well,
green. The green fairy. He doesn't get a muscle form. He gets slightly muscular, but he still looks like a little
well,
boy.
except for the bartender who kind of acts like the Aniki of the whole group. The rest of them are in high school, right? Or
Yeah,
posing
yeah,
as high school
yeah. They go to
students.
some elite school that they
They barely
barely.
talk
Yeah,
about like they. I think they. I think that school came into prominence like the first episode
yeah.
with the main character. Like the main character is Ranmaru, I think.
I think that's his name. Yeah, the one that's just kind of like not always there.
Yeah, the bespectacled fairy is named Ranmaru, and apparently he's supposed to be from some awesome kick-ass tribe, but he kind of acts like an empty vessel. But
Has he saved any girls yet?
no, I think he was
The first
the
one?
first
Yeah,
one.
maybe you're right.
I can't remember. It's been a while, but we went on my anime list, and there seems to be a lot of hate for this show.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think a lot of people like it too.
Really?
No, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep believing that for my own sake.
But do you like it?
I like it, but I was thinking back to that other series you brought up, the Chew In Boo whatever. It's not Chew In, the one about they have a hamster boss or some shit, and they have a club at school, and they like help people. It's the same kind of thing, but like,
Yeah, that was straight up parody, and it was very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very cheesy
well,
and kind of
I brought that one
silly.
up because like I lost interest in that one when they tried to make the story bigger than we're just gonna have fights and help people out.
You mean by the second season? Because that's when they
Yeah,
try to do
they
something
brought in
different.
more characters and like they kind of halfway teased at a bigger plot, but it's like I like this show because it's just so bare bones. It's just, it's got everything I want. I know what I'm getting, and yeah, I, there's something
I
there
get
too. I
that.
also like that uh, that it that it doesn't even try to explain a lot of stuff. That it's like, no, this is what you get, and I'm like, okay, well, this is weird, but I think it's for a good reason, or just I don't know what I'm
No,
saying.
it's very surface. It's very shallow. It's like here's some pretty boys. Say, I mean, they don't even try to hide the fact that this is just pretty much fan service.
Yeah, but it's not as annoying as like a lot of other genre stuff like isekai or harem or moe. Like I mean, maybe if I was a fan of that, maybe I'd be like, "Yep, this is moe. This is what I want. This is what they're giving me."
Why do you consider those genres annoying?
They're just annoying. I mean, I don't like
That
them.
that explains a lot.
Like in those genres, like I'm like, all right, if there's something here besides tropes, maybe I'll watch. But with this, it's like I don't even think you can call these tropes really. It's just a weird show about one thing over and over again.
Yeah, it's very strange, and how they rescue these girls is it's different. It's unconventional how their mechanism for rescuing people. It almost reminds me of Persona 5. Like in Persona 5, you go into people's, I guess you go into their, you find the portal to their subconscious where you can change their hearts, kind of thing,
Okay.
which I think is a pretty lame premise. That's why I never liked Persona 5.
Oh, come on.
But yeah, it kind of reminds me that there's something similar to that when they go into like these other dimensions to battle the the evil tendencies of the antagonists per
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, I think what I was trying to say is like there are a lot of holes in this show that they're like, nope, the holes are part of the show. So it's
What
like
holes?
it just feels like holes, like like the school. How they
Okay.
bring up the school, but they never go into it, and how like they're on some kind of mission, but we don't even know what the fuck.
Well, that's not necessarily a hole. We just don't know what the big mission is,
But they
right?
they keep pointing to it, but just like little blinks at it. And I think this, for me, my interpretation or enjoyment of the show is defined by what it like. It's like the negative space is also part of of what makes it aesthetically pleasing.
Wow, I think you're giving the show a lot of credit.
I am. All right, so can I do my rundown now?
Oh, please
All
do.
right, hold on. Let me grab my notes.
Here we go. He's got his notes, y'all.
All right. First thing I noticed that big ass fucking QR code in the beginning. Like I've never seen that in another show.
Well, there's a QR code?
Yeah, just like during the thing before the opening credits. And I'm like, I mean, I've flashed it before, but I just thought that was novel because they're just like, yeah, here, go to our website. All right.
Oh, is that what it's for?
Yeah, that's what a QR code is. It takes you to a website. It's like
I mean, did you go there?
I think I did once, yeah, before, not today. The thing about let me eat your heart, itadakimasu, that's gross, and it's never not going to be gross.
Yeah, that's weird. That's their kind of like rally call.
Although the bartender, I don't think he said that this time. He said, I'll save your heart." He didn't say I'll let me eat it, but
I don't think they ever say it to the girls directly, do they?
I don't maybe.
I don't know.
I think they
we
do.
don't
I
know
think they do.
Japanese. Who knows what they're telling these people?
All right. So, all right. So we start out, and there's a couple having very deliberate sex, which is like, all right. Well, this is not for kids.
What well.
All right, yeah, all right,
yeah.
maybe with the bondage, yeah. But it's like, and it
No
wasn't
kidding.
even like hentai. It was just that pose was like, it wasn't explicit, but at the same time, I think it kind of was. It was like, no, these people are fucking, and they're not just like hugging or anything. I'm like, okay, I didn't expect
Yeah.
that from this show, but
Turns out it was the main.
yeah, it's the
It's
bartender.
the bartender who is like the oldest of the group,
Yeah.
and he's clearly violating one of the fairy rules, and that is to not have relations with the opposite sex for reasons.
Yeah. Well, it's probably, I don't know.
Well, we know as the audience why they're not supposed to have girlfriends.
Wait, why?
Well, because they're
Because of
like
the rules?
idols.
Oh.
I mean, as far as like the audience is concerned. Because all female the predominantly female fan base doesn't want to see their pretty boys with girls.
Okay, well, I wouldn't have guessed that.
But yeah, but in the show, who knows why?
All right, so this chick that he's having sex with was like, "Hey, I'm gonna kiss you," and he's like, "No kissing." And then it flashes back to his mom, who's like, I've got to survive no matter what, and some other stuff happens, but he has a flashback. And what is that title? Lust. Oh yeah, the title is Lust.
There didn't seem to be a lot of lust in this.
Yeah, I
Like,
guess you're right.
It
There was no lust.
It was very tangential, if that.
Is that lust, or I guess he bangs a lot of chicks, but is that? I mean, he didn't seem like a lusty guy. He just seemed kind of like a take it or leave it.
Yeah, well, he explained in his particular tribe, and each one of the characters in this group, they come from a particular tribe that's associated with an element or whatever. And the bartender comes from like
Metallum.
the metallurgy clan or whatever.
But I think it's also gold. I don't know.
Oh, I guess. But he explained that in his clan, they don't get a lot of males, so the males that are born have to have a lot of female partners to produce the next heir. So that's why he's bagging all these women. But it doesn't really have anything to do with the episode, this fact.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of the holes, really. But yeah, that's where, and like, I associate lust with like urges, but it doesn't look like he has urges. It's just, well, does he? I don't know.
No, yeah, like when you, well, like a lot of, apparently there are 10 rules that they're supposed to abide, and these rules are predominantly deal with passions of the flesh, like don't be violent, don't envy people, don't be lustful. And yeah, it wasn't that his passions were out of control. It's just that that is just how they do things in his clan.
Okay.
So
Well, then why would that be against the rules?
well, what is what against the rules?
If he comes from a clan where it's like, yeah, one guy gets a lot of chicks, and my clan is all about one guy fucking a lot of chicks, and he goes on his fairy assignment, and they're like, "Oh, you better not fuck a lot of chicks." How does that make any sense?
Well, I guess that's also why he got kicked out of his clan.
No, he got kicked out of his clan because
Well, I mean,
there was a hostile takeover.
yeah, but I guess my point is that that's probably a nefarious clan anyway,
I say it's just one of the
and
holes.
and even the queen said she would look the other way. So
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So yeah. All right. So yeah, go to him cooking for the other fairy guys, and he only cooks curry, and he doesn't give a shit whether they like it or not.
What now? Does he do that because curry is just cheap to make?
Maybe he doesn't give a reason. I think he just that's how much he cares. He doesn't care. It's like because the next scene is him. Oh wait, no, not the next scene, but soon he'll talk about what he's gonna make. But
Yeah, like is curry? I wish they go into that. Like is like the running joke is that he always feeds them curry, but is it because it's cheap or is it like easy to make and he doesn't have to think about it? It seems to me, I like as someone who's made curry before, they're just it's not a hard dish, but it's not like putting a frozen pizza in the microwave
well, all
either.
right. Well, after this scene, I'll get back to this. But all right. So after that scene where he's making him curry and he's like whatever. There's something where like the queen is like, I think he's talking to the queen or the queen's assistant, and they're like Sirius is propagating wicked souls, and you have to track him down and make him ascend. And you're not supposed to know what that means, I guess. If you
That I took that to mean that that was that shadowy figure
Oh yeah,
that
the guy who's
was
always talking shit from the like standing on a building somewhere.
yeah, just standing on the building in like long dresses,
Yeah,
posing
I think there's been more
like
than
he's
one
from
though.
RuPaul's Drag Race,
I
huh?
can't tell if it's one dude or
No, I think it's just the one dude.
I thought it was multiple dudes.
Uh,
And then the queen's like, "Are you following the 10 laws?" And he's like, "Yeah, whatever." So then after that, after he's done talking to the queen, he goes to the most brokest vegetable stall in all of Japan,
yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, what'll I make for them?" And he deliberately says, "Oh, whatever. They'll eat curry and they'll like it." So I think from that, his reasoning is that he doesn't give a shit about cooking for them. It's like he kind of just like, all right, well, your job is to cook for them. He's like, whatever, I don't care. So I don't think it goes any deeper than that. But
oh, okay.
but and then this like the girl comes out and she's all starving. She's got the gaunt cheeks, the gaunt anime cheeks. And then you also see her father who's also starving behind the curtain. And I'm like, damn, that's
I mean, imagine owning a produce stand and you're like starving.
well, I guess. I mean, I guess you can. No, I don't know. I don't know how you can sell food and
And
be
still
starving.
starving.
But I mean, I know like you got
This is
bills
like
to pay.
the stupidest grocer in all of Japan.
It's like me dying of thirst and like I sell water. It's like,
I know, you're like the
oh.
Arrowhead man and you're dying of thirst.
Uh, so one thing you noted is like he said some kind of off the cuff like, "Oh, no big deal" thing in Japanese, but it was translated to "no skin off my nose," and like,
Yeah, these translators are taking a lot of license here, guys.
yeah, it's a lot of liberties. That's I know they're trying to like, oh, we want to put his attitude into the saying so people get more of a feel of the type of guy he is, but he didn't say "no skin off my nose." I mean, stop localizing to try and build the character the way you think I should perceive him. Just say what he says, and I will take it from there.
Yeah, well, I always say this is an incentive to just learn Japanese,
I can't
which
do it. I can't
I
fucking
am
do it.
doing.
Okay, well, good for
I'm
you.
doing
But you can tell me what he really
using
says. Then.
Duolingo, which is really fun.
All right,
Not
so
sponsored, by the way.
so then he's out there looking for ingredients. So he meets this girl, and then he takes her back to the bar, and he makes her food, and she eats it up, and she's like, "Oh, it's been a long time since I've had curry with meat in it," which always bugs me out because I can't imagine a country where people could actually say that. It's been a long time since I've had meat. I mean,
And this coming from the man who is aghast at our current pastrami shortage.
it's something to it. I went to the store to get pastrami and they didn't have any, and they said they hadn't had any for weeks. I'm like, that can't be possible.
Alvin seriously thought that they were like withholding pastrami from him
No,
at our
no,
store.
no. I think there's
He's like,
something wrong with the supply chain. I didn't think they were
who's
whole.
eating all my pastrami?
No, I'm just trying. Look, don't put words in my mouth. I haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet.
You're still investigating
Yes,
the great pastrami shortage mystery.
I am. I'll let you know. But
But he called up a deli, and apparently they had pastrami.
yeah,
So
yeah.
something's up.
So I can get pastrami, but I need to investigate further why my local grocery store has no pastrami. All right, so he feeds this girl, and she's like, "Hey, here's my card. Let me call me if you're ever in trouble." And she's like, "Hey, can I have a job?" And then they go to the tub scene. There's always a tub scene where they all get together, very much like that other show we can't remember the name of.
Yeah, Chew Boy, Boo, Chew,
But that's where
Chew
they
Boo Bay Boo.
yeah, that's where they have their meetings, and he's like, "So I hired her," and they're like, "We don't have any money," and it's
I
all.
mean, you can't get any more homoerotic than we have our team meetings in the tub.
It's not homoerotic. They're clean. They're
Who talks about gameplays when they're all naked in the tub
I
with
don't
each
know,
other? Come
a
on.
bunch of chill blokes. All right, so yeah, they object. They're like, "Oh, it's dangerous for her to be around," and yada yada. But then she makes them some really good food, and they're like, "All right, never stop coming here." So they're all happy that they're eating her food. She's happy that they're eating the food that she made. And then the bartender's like, "Oh, relax, nobody could hurt you here." And then, right on cue, the bill collector that's been looking for her is like, "Oh, there you are. Give me my money." So it turns out somebody can't hurt her, and
Girl,
it's.
got your money, don't you worry. Say,
But yeah, they pay off the debt collector, and they're like, "Hey, how about you fucking take this money and fuck off?" And he's like, "Sure thing,
haha,
buddy."
well, until I come around again for my money.
And it's like, I don't know if I missed something, but like I'm jumping a little ahead. But it's like he comes back the very next day, and it's like, where is she supposed to get more money in one fucking day?
I
I don't
don't,
know.
I don't know. I mean, is money lending in Japan
Yeah, I don't know. It's a
that
big business.
I know it's like every anime there's always like money lending. Like, do these people not go to banks?
You can't. No, they don't trust banks. Well, maybe you have to have a high credit score to get a loan, and you have to have a good reason. Like, I don't know. This she says like, "Oh, this guy tricked my dad. He said he was going to help him expand the business, and instead that somehow led to us owing him every cent that we have."
They don't read. Somebody is not reading the contract. They're
This is
not reading the fine print
this is
over
why
there.
the bank requires you to have a proper business plan, so this doesn't happen. But oh, and this like oh, and her mom's dead, and
She
this
died of anime mom disease.
yeah, this he flashes back to the butler dude, no, not butler, the bartender
Bartender.
fairy flashes back to his mom feeding, like they're under they're living under a bridge in fairy world.
The cleanest bridge ever.
Yeah, and she's like, "Here, take this stew and eat it, even though I'm starving." And she's like, "You're the rightful heir to the Metallum clan.
The Metallica
And
clan,
they
yeah.
killed your father, and fairy world is all degenerate and messed up now." And yeah, that's that. So that brings him back there, and then to hand over the money. I have to quit. Commercial break. Dead. Oh yeah. So she oh she drives her. I think the bartender drives her home, and somebody wrote "hand over the money" on the store, which is like, I mean, I don't know. This all happened so fast. I mean, they got a little money. You weren't gonna wait until, I don't know. Maybe they were really far behind. And then she's like, "Oh wow, this is fucked up. I'm gonna have to quit." And then they go to commercial, and the debt collector comes back later, and he's like, "Hey, I've got a proposition." And then we see who I presume is Sirius in the shadows, and he's like, "Oh, killing yourself for your family. That's a type of love." That doesn't mean anything. It's I don't know who this Sirius character is or why he says this shit.
Like he popped in to say, "Hey, audience, remember me?"
Yeah. Well, he does kind
I'm,
of like he has like different hot takes on the shit that's happening. Like he'll see fucked up shit going down, and he's like, "Yeah, no, that's cool." And like,
that's his only role is to say there's nothing wrong with
yeah,
this.
pretty much. And I'm like, all right, all right. So yeah, then he's like, the butler's talking with Ranmaru, and Ranmaru's like, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't break the rules," and Butler's like, "Hey, maybe you should fuck off." No, he didn't
Maybe
say
I
that.
should break your face.
Oh, and it's like, you don't need love to make a kid. And Ranmaru is like, "Are you sure?" And yeah, whatever. And then like somehow, oh, the chick cries on the card, and that like sends out the bat signal to the butler. He's like, "Oh, I gotta go do work." And the butler meets her, and she's like, I'm gonna go get married to a foreigner, and they're gonna pay my debt."
Marriage? That's
I think that was it. Yeah.
I I didn't hear her
All right,
mention
well, she'll be
anything.
taken in by a foreigner,
Yeah.
and that'll cover the debt. And like, the,
You going to Afghanistan, girl?
and before that, they showed like some brochures, and her dad is like, oh, this will make things easier on you, and it's like a brochure of a care home and some legal papers and some guy named Ruiz or something.
The- Oh, that was the. Oh,
So
okay. I
that could
didn't
have been the
put.
foreigner,
That
yeah.
was the foreigner. I was like, who's this dude? Does he run the care home?
No, I thought he was the guy that gave him the money, that loaned him the money. But yeah, that might have been the foreigner. And then
Oh,
like she's like, if I can gaman suru through this, then maybe shit'll be okay. And I love that phrase gaman suru because it basically means eat shit in Japan. It's like
oh
if I could just eat
man.
shit, then things will be all right. But
Oh no,
I know it
no.
means persevere, but they only tell you to gaman suru when it's some fucked up shit that you don't want to do and you probably shouldn't.
I like Ganbare better.
Yeah, no, Ganbare is more inspiring. It's when you're like, you can make it, but Gaman Suru is like, look, man.
Ooh, you're gonna have to take one for the team.
But oh,
Oh,
and
so her own dad knew that she was gonna get hoed out.
well, they were threatening violence, and he couldn't do anything because he couldn't eat. He was too weak.
He
And
said, "Babe, you know, if I had just a couple of cheeseburgers under my belt, I would kick his ass."
and plus, this dude sucks at making deals. uh,
He's like, "Oh wait, I have to sell my daughter? I didn't see that part."
meh. So I guess she's like, before I have to go live with this foreigner, could you like blow my back out? And the butler is
Oh,
like,
that is such a crude way of
well,
putting
it was a
it.
crude request.
She said,
Make love.
"Please make love to me."
Bullshit. I understand the sentiment, but it was purely, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I have of mixed emotions on that. So
So, but yeah, the bartender is like, you should only do that with somebody you care about,
did he
or
say
so.
that? I think he
Yeah.
said that. Yeah, okay.
So
Oh
say
yeah,
that
you
for,
should say those words for someone you care about. Yeah.
or for the new guy you're being sold
This new
to.
guy that your dad sells you to. It's a great deal. It's the best deal in the history of all deals.
He said like a
I sold
big,
my daughter.
like it was a deal like you've
Like you
never
wouldn't.
seen before.
Some would say the best deal. You never seen anything
The
like it.
greatest of deals.
Greatest of deals. But my wife died. I sold a corpse. I got a good deal. I bought this store. All right, enough of that. So then they go into the whole transformation thing, where he's about to kiss the girl. The girl turns into smoke. You suck in the smoke, and you transform into a buff dude, and then you start running to a song. And
Well, complete magical transformation where you see like
oh yeah,
the glitter kind of hides all the parts.
and I was saying I don't think there was that much glitter hiding the other guys. I didn't go back and check, but
No,
this guy was so glittery you could barely make out the physique.
I
It
can make it out pretty fine.
it really it did no justice to imagine being the
Yeah.
animator drawing all that shit, and it's like, okay, well, now we got to cover this with glitter because
I do
reasons.
feel like the other fairies had more skin showing
Yeah, I think
during
so.
their
That's
transformations.
what that's what I mean. Like, it was his was covered with glitter.
He's a big guy.
He does seem to be like the buffest guy. Like, but okay, so you're like, oh, I want to hear the song. Like, if you didn't say anything, I would just assume the song was the same every time. But
No, like I distinctly remember one of them. My least favorite one, I think, was the Shota one, because he had like a cha 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 kind
oh,
of
dude, see,
song.
I don't remember this type
Can't
of songs
remember,
they
but
were.
they all get their own songs
Mm,
when they're running down a starlit corridor
yeah.
for a very long time to their hero songs.
And you know what? I like that. I like because I like music videos, and I like when we could just take a break and nobody fucking talks, and we just enjoy music and good animation, and then we just go back.
Wait, where was their good animation?
All right, fine. I did notice like the run cycles when they're running forward toward like the first part of the run when they run towards the camera, they've messed up the timing so it's really jerky on this one and the one before. I have to check the previous one,
Hmm.
but they don't have the biggest budget for this. They're doing a lot with whatever the hell they
That
have.
that is true. That is true. And I feel like most of the budget is being spent on the battle scenes
Yeah, could be.
because they have that very what's the word, that
Surreal.
stylistic surrealist
Yeah,
cutout animation that they did in Madoka
yeah,
Magica.
yeah. That's what I was gonna cover next. So then he goes to the surreal fantasy world where the battle takes place. I do like that. Every time I see that, it's like I see somebody in Japan just talk like, hey, I went to art school,
Yeah.
and it's like, all right, but
It does seem very art schoolish, but I like that too. That's probably like my favorite parts because
yeah,
they're very interesting.
and like the monster he's fighting, like it's there. Part of it was from like at least the horse part. It's like some monster made of jumbled parts, and a couple parts were from Picasso's Guernica. I had to learn that in AP Art History, and so
It feels like because I remember learning about Guernica too when I
they
was in
made
high
such a
school.
big deal over it.
Yeah, it's so weird how like everybody I'm in our age group they had to learn about Guernica
I'm like,
for
why?
some reason.
I don't know.
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what the battle was about.
I guess somebody shot a horse because that horse looks like he looks like he had a bad time. But okay, all right. So like, but before the battle, like right as the guy is transforming, like they show the debt collector driving away, and he's looking at the files. He's like, haha, who should I trap next?
He's, that seems to be a thing in this cartoon. All the bad guys are like twirling their mustaches in the corner right before the battle
Yeah,
happens.
well, I mean, they're irredeemable. But
No, I don't think they're. Is that what they're saying? They're irredeemable. I thought the
well,
whole point was to like
I
change. Okay,
uh,
maybe I don't know.
well, hold on. Let me
Because
get
they
to
say
that.
go to heaven.
Yeah, but they also say like
Go
some
to heaven.
Persian shit, and then they say like Holy Mary Mother something.
Assumption of the yeah. Man, their religious references are all over the place. I
Yeah,
don't get it. I don't get what the Assumption of Mary has to
what to do with
do.
making a giant key?
Yeah, I
Well, you
mean,
see, when Jesus was born.
yeah.
All right. So they do the fight, and of course it's overwhelming for the bartender who's now buff, and the bad guy is like, those who can't pay their debts are worthless, and I'm gonna ween, and like then the buff guy turns it around, and he's like, everyone can like seize their own future and control their own destiny, and then he does all the Holy Mary Mother. He makes a key, throws it at the dude, and I seem to remember like I feel like this was a point where the bad guys' vulnerabilities were exposed once they've been at the point of defeat. But there was no depth to this debt collector guy.
Yeah,
He was just,
he was
but
just a greedy jerk.
right before he gets hit, he says it's not my fault. So I thought they were gonna explain why he would say that, but they don't. They just gloss over it.
Mm.
So yeah, he was just some random bad guy, and I thought I was a little disappointed by that. Like, what? All right, I remember one of the bad guys was that girl, the idol girl.
Mhm.
Um, did we actually see what made her evil, or any insight into her evil nature?
I don't recall, but I wasn't it explained that to get ahead you had to like because yeah there's an episode where a girl in an idol group is being upstaged by one of the members because the one of the members is cheating by dating her fans
Yeah.
and thus getting getting a high number of votes and favorability by fans, thus pushing the other girl kind of to the side. But I just thought it was just clear that the bad idol girl was like doing that just so she can get ahead
I
or
think
so like because she does I think she kind of does this monologue where she said like this is what you got to do to get ahead kind of deal or
yeah. Now that I think about it, like the other villainous characters had more
the
character
same yeah.
within the show, whereas the debt collector had no character. Like there was the guy who had a lot of female fans online, and his girlfriend wasn't allowed to say that she was his girlfriend.
Hmm.
Uh, there was the manga editor who ruined that girl's manga.
Yeah.
Who else? I feel like there were two more. Can you think of them?
Oh, I think in the very beginning there was a the girl that was being bullied by other girls.
She was.
Yeah, the very first one there was the girl that was in trouble. She was being bullied by another girl in her class because the bully was saying nasty things about her online
Oh yeah, yeah. I kind of
because
remember that.
it turns out like the bully was interested in a boy
Mm-hmm.
that was actually going after the girl in distress, that he liked her and the bully
Mm.
was jealous, so she started talking trash about that girl online.
Yeah, we
And
might have covered. See, so yeah, in each one of those, like the villain is more worked into the
yeah,
plot.
and it almost feels like and she had a lot going because the the bully from the first one, it turns out that a lot of the girls that she was like
Oh yeah, she was posing as a lot of girls to
yeah, she
like
was
troll that
posing
chick.
out a lot of girls to troll this one girl. It turns out that the other girls didn't like the bully,
Mm.
saying that, oh, she thinks she's like an alpha female, she's just a jerk. And so a lot of her um, vulnerabilities were exposed. And I feel like from there, like the antagonists kind of got shallower and shallower
Mm.
in their
Yeah,
characterization.
yeah. It can't get much more shallower than like nameless debt collection.
So, like, I just like Amani. That should have been under greed, not
Yeah,
lust.
but okay, so bartender guy wins, and then Sirius is off in the corner, and he's like, "You can't change destiny. You just roll with your circumstances, and then you call whatever happens change, and you say, "Oh, I've accepted my destiny." But it's like you don't have as much control as you think. So Sirius is talking shit. In the end, you see this lawyer um, talking about how they got this lawyer is talking to the broke ass father and daughter who run the stand, and he's like, "Yeah, we got all your money back. It's great." And of course, they can't remember the fairies because that's how it works. And
Yeah, the girls who get saved by the fairies, in the end, they don't remember they forget the fairies. They know somebody did something nice for them, but
yeah, and hold on, what was I gonna say? Damn. Um,
what, the lawyer?
yeah, the lawyer he flashed like they made a point to show this gold watch he had, and implying that like the bartender guy provided him with that. I'm thinking, but it's like I thought these guys were broke because they're like when they hired the girl, they were like, "How are we gonna pay for this girl?" And he's like, "We'll just go without meat in our curry." But then he hands off a gold watch to this, or maybe
Well, because he is from the Metallica clan, so maybe he can like
make gold.
make gold
Well,
somehow.
then they should have meat every day. I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, are they broke, or it doesn't make any sense why he.
Yeah, that's another one of the holes, maybe, but it's not a good hole. And yeah, that's it. And then you go to the bar F, which
Bar F.
yeah.
I wonder if that was intentional.
Why barf?
Like,
No, the F is for
very.
fairies.
Oh, but still, it's
Yeah, somebody should have told them what barf
so
was.
every time I see the flash that sign, I want to crack up.
But yeah, yeah. So he feeds them curry, and he's like, "Screw you guys! Make sure you follow those 10 fucking laws." And that's the end.
And he's
So
like, I'm gonna go out and break one of them.
oh yeah, yeah. He gets a booty call in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
So
He's allowed to booty call chicks, but
yeah, I don't know. So in the end, it was okay. I liked it.
and the funny thing is that none of the other dudes seem to be that bothered by it.
No.
None of them are saying, "Hey, how come he gets to bang chicks and we
Well,
can't?"
he's older than them. They're like high school, so they're not worried
What,
about it.
high school kids don't have carnal?
Not like him. Well, they don't.
Well, at least have a girlfriend.
Yeah,
Like none of them complain about that at all. That they don't get to have girlfriends.
Well, they're kind of wrapped up in their own fairy storylines,
Yeah,
but he seems to be kind of over his. Although he is, but he isn't.
yeah.
So, all right. So that was Fairy Ranmaru,
Yeah, all in
episode
all,
5. Go ahead.
I like it. I like it because I think I like it because nobody else really does, and it's
I'm sure people like
it's I don't know, it's an acquired taste. It's like eating jackfruit.
it. Ugh.
No, not like papaya. It's like eating a papaya.
Hmm.
Kind of kind of turns you off looking at it,
What?
but
Oh, that's pretty deep.
but it tastes pretty good.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna cut it off. I'm done.
All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. All right.
All right. Bye.